Self-responsibility. Now, if you're new to the channel, you're wondering who the fuck am I and why might you want to listen to me? Well, I'm that way, and I read hundreds of books to uncover the hidden secrets of the universe, to leverage that shit so that you, sir, ma'am, can make more money by literally doing less. So you decide if you want to listen to this random Mexican rockin' and mullet yab about the hidden esoteric secrets of the universe, because sincerely, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm here to tell you that the right individuals will find this video and watch it all the way through, and their lives will change. And if you're one of them, you will know. If you aren't, you will know that as well, right? So I think that's enough fucking yapping. Let's get into it, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the powerful word, okay, 2 words, self-responsibility, okay, so you can actually make way more money than you've ever made in your life. Because right now, if you're watching this video, you're struggling, right? You're struggling. You don't have self-responsibility in anything. And, you know, particularly this channel, right? This is a business channel. In this channel specific, okay, right here on this channel, we only discuss what? Entrepreneurship, business, okay? If it ain't, I'm not here to talk about manifestation, spirituality, all that goofy shit. We don't talk about that shit here. But everything is interconnected. And I'm here to tell you, in whatever realm that you're trying to level up in, whether it's, you know, finances, health, relationships, any particular goal, it doesn't matter. Everything requires you saw that shit? This is crazy. Everything requires self-responsibility, okay? So if you don't have self-responsibility, okay, you're gonna get fucked, right? You're gonna get fucked, and then you're gonna wonder, oh my god, why does my life suck? God damn, why is it that everyone else seems to be getting ahead, right? And I just, no matter how much I try, no matter how much effort I try and I put in, right, nothing seems to yield for me. Why is it that everyone seems to have the magic touch, right? But you, no matter how much effort you put in, nothing seems to go your way. You're like, what the flying fuck? What is this bullshit? Like, god damn it, something ain't clicking, right? You know why your life fucking sucks, buddy? Fools' lives turn to shit because fools don't know them. So let me repeat that one more time. It's gonna fly for so many yahoos' heads. The exact reason why fools, you know, turn to shit, their life goes to hell, their business goes to hell, right? They're attracting the worst clients, they're getting, you know, the worst customers, everything's just going not their way, right? It's because they don't have self-responsibility. And this is something that I notice more and more, especially, you know, the more I, you know, tune into the internet and see where a lot of yahoos' minds are, right? You see, we have 2 minds, right? We have a collective consciousness, okay? Now, this might sound a little esoteric. It's all gonna make sense. Just pay attention, right? So, we have a collective consciousness. God damn, that shit's horrible. Horrible ass handwriting. It's all good, though. It's all good. We pivot. Okay, I don't know what the hell it is with me today. I don't know y'all be seeing that shit. You see that? I'm taking some responsibility. Y'all literally just remember I was literally saying some shit and I know the extra marker, boom, hit the ground. It just fell out of my head. You see what just happened? You see that? Hey, I don't know what the hell's going on today, but today everything's falling. It is what it is. You see? Everything's falling. But guess what? I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining. I'm taking self-responsibility. You see, this is the exact mindset that you need to have, brother, sister, if you want to get ahead in life. Trust me. The physical material world, okay, it's always going to throw adversity to you. It's always going to send circumstances to you every once in a while to G-check you, okay? The universe wants to know. And what I know is going to sound a little spiritual by saying the universe, but whatever you want to call it, the universe, the world, God, source, whatever you want to call it, right, is always going to send tests, adversaries, right, to G-check you. It's trying to see, is this motherfucker really about it, right, or is he going to fold whenever shit hits the fan? And I'm here to tell you, if you're one of those fools who folds immediately when the simulation shows you some bullshit, right, and then you shy away from self-responsibility, the topic of today's video, the universe, the world, source, Jehovah, Elohim, the whatever you want to call it, right, is gonna say, you know what, this individual, he ain't for it, bro. Fake. This is a fake ass Jew right here. We don't want him. We don't want him or her. Get out. You're disqualified. Stay in your own lane. This is literally how the universe works. I know it sounds cold as fuck, but this is how the universe really works, right? And I know y'all clearly just see what just happened, right? Like everything seems to be falling. Like it is what it is. So hey, the show will still continue. The F4 will still put y'all fools on to the secrets of the universe. Tranquilo, relax, just breathe with me. Tranquilo. Look, the collective consciousness, okay, is one of the minds that we have. Okay, now the collective, this is simply the majority, okay? 98% of the world, this is the 98%, okay? If you look at Napoleon Hill believed that only 2% of individuals around the world, 2%, okay, were aware that their mind creates their whole entire reality. In the Bible, biblically, Christ, for many are called, few are chosen, right? So very few individuals are aware that everything is a byproduct of what your consciousness, right? If you want to grow in business, right, you need to have some responsibility. But why do you lack some responsibility in the first place? Like, what is it that's actually causing you to not be able to actually implement some responsibility into your own life, right? Why is it that when a client comes through and, you know, for whatever reason, let's say he's like, hey, I really need to fix this problem, it's not working, you shy away from the problem. Oh, I don't have the solution to that, you know, I'm just gonna refer you somewhere else, right? When you know you have the solution to the problem, but guess what, you're doing yourself and that other individual a disservice because you're shying away from some responsibility. You know, don't worry about it, someone will take care of it. I don't know what to do about it, right? You're shying away from someone's responsibility when you know that you can solve that issue, right? Oh, when you know you're supposed to shoot something for, you know, shoot some content for the day, you're like, God damn it, you know what, today's not a good day, I'm sleeping, let me hit snooze, you know, fuck it, let me go sleep the rest of the day, right? You know what, let me go party today, let me go smoke some weed, get drunk, get high, you know, today I'm just not feeling it, right? You're living based off your, what, emotions, right? You have no structure, you have no order in your life. And I know the spirituality community says it's all about how you feel. That's partially true, yes, okay, it's what you're broadcasting, but guess what, there are going to be instances in life where you're going to still have to fucking go about whatever the hell you have to go about, regardless of how you feel. You think that each and every single day I'm like, oh my god, oh let's do it. Nah, it doesn't work like that. No, but there's not a single human being, okay, trust me, if there's a single human being who tells you, right, that each and every single day he wakes up so passionate, oh my, that's bullshit. I put my life on it, okay? That's how confident I'm what I'm saying. That's bullshit. Your vibration, your energy levels are always fluctuating. They're always going up and down, okay? And you see, just because your energy is down here, it's low, right? You're below the courage level. You're at pride, sadness, apathy, shame, grief, guilt, whatever, right? You're at those levels, right? Doesn't mean that you should shy away from some responsibility. Matter of fact, if you're at the lower energy levels, you feel like absolute dog shit. You feel like shit to the point where you don't want to do jack shit for the day. You're like, God damn it, I just want to hit snooze and sleep because I'm tired. I didn't get enough sleep last night, or I'm too sore from yesterday's workout, you know, right? Yada, yada, yada. You're shying away from some responsibility, okay? You're thinking like the majority thinks like this. The majority's in a constant state of contraction, okay? When you're in a state of constant contraction, right, you can't expand. If you're not expanding, guess what? You're contracting. And if you're contracting, guess what? You're dying, right? As a legend once said many moons ago, if you're not learning, you're dying, okay? If you're not learning, you're dying, okay? The moment you're like, you know what? I know it all. I don't need to hear your shit. I don't need to hear your shit. I already know everything there is to know. The moment you tell yourself that shit, that lie, okay? And trust me, this is coming from a fool who used to say that shit all the motherfucking time. Like, the amount of times back in the day, like even 2 years ago, okay, 2 years ago, I used to get on fucking meetings with people and I used to be like, oh yeah, I've seen it all, and it was hilarious now thinking about it because that's bullshit. Nobody even knows, even me with all the knowledge I have, trust me, I read hundreds of books literally on all kinds of subjects, right? Because I just like to learn about everything in life. I want to simply soak up as much knowledge as possible, okay? This is just what I'm fucking passionate about, right? So, because I'm into this shit, right? Even me. And it's and trust me, for individuals like us who are intellectuals, right, we like to learn, we're about business, we're entrepreneurs, right, we like to solve problems, yada yada, we need to keep ourselves more in check, I would argue, than the majority of the world. You know, the average Joe Schmo who works a fucking job and has a boss telling him when to eat, when to use the restroom, yada, like, yeah, the individual, right, those type of individuals. We need to keep ourselves in check more. Why? Because we develop this, okay? We develop, you know what, let me erase this shit. It's about to get real saucy. I'm about to connect dots about why you shy away from some responsibility in business, in life in general, right? And yes, like really when it comes to anything in life, right? Not just business. I mean, business is a really important aspect. This is what you're into, right? And I'm gonna connect dots, but this is what you develop. You know what? I don't know if this might be drying out, but it's all good. We'll make it work. This is what you develop, okay? Shoop. You develop an intellectual ego, okay? And trust me, this is something that I had developed not that long ago, right? Not that long ago, I started to develop a huge intellectual ego, right? You're learning all this shit about business, the esoteric, which is simply information that, you know, not a lot of people know about, right? You're accumulating all this information, so you unconsciously, right, without your conscious awareness, you start to see everyone else as what? Fucking bots. You're like, God damn it, he's such a fucking sheep. God, he's literally lost and stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I know I'm ringing a bell. I know, like, yo, he knows exactly what the fuck he's talking about, right? And you see everybody as a sleep sheep in the matrix, right? They're all a bunch of NPCs, right? Non-controllable player characters. I think that's what it stands for, right? NPCs. And you see everyone as just like literal nobodies, right? You're just like, God damn it, these motherfuckers are so lame, bruh. They are so lame. They can't see how they're another cog in the machine. And whenever they try to explain to you some shit, right, like, hey buddy, you know, go about this and do this, or they try to give you just any advice in general, you're like, no, shut up. Yeah, I get it. Okay, cool, yeah. Okay, cool, yeah, I hear. Yep. Brush it off. Nothing they say means jack shit to you. You can't even have a connection with an individual because you're now shying away from what? Self-responsibility. But guess what? You don't even have self-humility, right? Because you think you know it. And trust me, I fell for this trap many years ago when I got onto this learning all this information, right? I fell into that trap where I was a huge fucking know-it-all. Nobody could tell me shit because in my mind I knew it all, and that's fucking hilarious. Trust me, even me with all this knowledge that I've accumulated so much fucking knowledge, right? I've read almost everything up to date. Obviously, not everything. Nobody has, right? There's always information to learn. There's always something to learn in this life, right? Never tell yourself that you know it all because you don't know it all. The moment you tell yourself you know it all, guess what goes down, okay? Guess what goes down? Your teachability index goes down. Now your teachability index is simply your ability to be coachable, your ability to learn, okay? Why do you think there are so many individuals who, you know, they're going up, money's coming through, deals are coming through, the revenue's climbing, their profits are soaring, everything's going really good for them, and then eventually they stagnate, right? They hit a flat line, they hit a plateau, and they stay that way for literally 10, 20, fucking 30 years, right? And then you're like, God damn, what happened to that guy? Like, man, like, he could have gone a lot more further in life. Why did he just stay like, I see people like this all the time, right? I see 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, right, who seem so damn successful on paper, right? I mean, these motherfuckers had everything, like literally everything at their disposal, right? But their ego got the best of them, right? They thought they knew it all, right? They were like, you know what, fuck everybody, I don't need to know anymore, I've already made it, right? That's that sinister word right there, I've made it, right? Those three sinister words, I've made it. Don't tell yourself you've made it ever, okay? Because trust me, human beings have a huge tendency to be dissatisfied. Let me repeat that one more time because it's really going to fly over some of y'all fools' heads, and y'all really need to grasp this shit, okay? Human beings, okay, are highly, and I'm not even going to say highly, I'm going to say forever, really, are highly and forever, okay, prone to dissatisfaction. Yeah. Okay, cool. Human beings are highly and forever prone to dissatisfaction. I don't care what it is that you accomplish, right? Whatever it is you accomplish, by the time you accomplish $1 million, right? It might seem so out of your reach right now, but by the time you accomplish that shit, you're gonna be like, you know what? What's the next thing? By the time you acquire a six-pack, you know, some six-pack abs, you're lean as hell, 10% body fat, yada yada, whatever, right? You're like, you know what? Dissatisfied. What's next? God damn it. You're always seeking, right? You're always seeking. And then eventually what happens, right? You shy away from self-responsibility, right? Problems accumulate. There's always some bullshit going on, right? You're like, God damn it, when can I ever finally have a rest? When can I ever sleep without a single problem, single issue in my life? Now you have to understand that there's always going to be problems in life, right? There's always going to be problems in life. I don't care what it is that you're, into, what field you're in business. It doesn't matter whether you sell carpets, sell dog leashes, you sell B2B, you're in high ticket sales, whatever it is that you're into, right? It doesn't matter. You're always going to have problems in life. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You're an individual who specifically does literally nothing but solve problems, right? And you see, life is all about solving potential problems. Let me repeat that one more time because in the flavor so many fools' heads, right? Life is about solving problems. Okay? And remember, if you don't have some responsibility, you're gonna always what? Run away from your problems. Okay? You're gonna always run away from your problems. But life is all about solving problems, or at the very least potential problems. Literally everything, okay? Problems are never gonna go anywhere, right? Seriously. Consider what you just did this morning, okay? Did you wake up? Cool. Why did you sleep? To get rest. Why? Because your body requires it. If you didn't sleep, what would happen? Eventually your body would wear out, and guess what? You would depart from the physical material world, right? Oh, did you brush your teeth? Cool. Why do you brush your teeth? What are the consequences of you not brushing your teeth? Your teeth decay. And then guess what? You have to go to a dentist. Yeah, a business, right, who solves problems, decaying teeth, right, to get that shit fixed for you. Oh, why did you, work out today? To stay fit. What are the consequences of not staying fit? You probably develop health issues, I don't know what the hell, but you get the point, right? You develop some imbalance. Everything is about solving potential problems. Everything is about solving problems, okay? As the Bing Bong Buddha once said many moons ago. I'm gonna write it down, okay? Shoot. Let me switch the color. So, as the Bing Bong, yes, I'm literally gonna say Bing Bong Buddha right here. Yeah, that's my guy Buddha right there. Okay. As the Bing Bong Buddha once said many moons ago, life is suffering. Okay? Life is suffering. And in Spanish, for my Spanish folks, la vida es sufrimiento. Okay? La vida es sufrimiento. This is what life is. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be nihilistic and you have to now develop a very negative worldview of life, because that doesn't serve you either, right? And it's always tofu. If some shit doesn't serve you, it's just there to what? Enslave you, right? Stop focusing on shit that doesn't move the needle forward. You have to take some responsibility for everything in life, right? From the time a client comes through, right, and the client's giving you, he's just being a pain in the ass. You're like, God damn it, why do I keep attracting the worst clients? God damn it, right? Or there's not really an influx of customers, right? Sales are low, revenue's low, your profits are low. You're like, God damn it, what the fuck? What the flying fuck is this bullshit, right? How is it that, each and every single individual around me seems to have the solution, but you seem stuck? You seem stagnant, right? And you literally start to ask yourself, why is it that so many individuals, right, regardless of how little they know, they're able to accomplish it? It's because they don't shy away from self-responsibility ever, okay? Ever. I don't care what it is. These individuals, these fools, right, never shy away from self-responsibility. It may seem like they do, but they don't. Yes, they're fucking idiots, but they always take self-responsibility for anything, okay? In business, and I'm gonna, let me erase this show, okay? So I need to clear some space so I can really show you a visual. All right, I'm gonna show you who's a really important, amazing as visual, so that y'all fools can really understand what it is that I'm trying to explain and really trying to emphasize here, okay? So, it's all gonna make sense. Tranquilo, tranquilo. Hey, what do I always tell you, fools? Tranquilo, tranquilo. You're too tense, buddy. Hey, you're too tense. Tranquilo, breathe, breathe. You're gonna be just fine. But remember, never shy away from self-responsibility. Because the moment that you shy away from self-responsibility, everything crumbles, right? You're operating on the circumference instead of operating from where? The center, right? Christ quietly to spend his own ministry, right? Preaching to fools that if only you operate from the center instead of the circumference, right? You could literally control, manipulate. Well, I wouldn't even say the word manipulate, but you get the point. Like from a biblical standpoint, basically have reality go your way, right? Whatever you call reality, which is funny because now, as we clearly know through the advancements of science, quantum physics in specific, right? Everything is energy. The illusion of separation is quite literally the cause of all human suffering. Quite literally, right? So, let me write that shit down because that was literally a gem right there. You see, look, watch this. The illusion, okay, of separation. Now, what does it have to do with self-responsibility? It's not gonna make sense. I'm gonna tell you all together. Tranquilo, tranquilo. Pay attention, right? So, the illusion of separation is quite literally the root cause of all human suffering. Okay. In specific, it's also the cause of what? This right here, shying away. You know, I'm not even gonna write that shit down, but you get the point. Shying away from self-responsibility, right? The illusion of separation. Now, you have to understand that in business, right? You're always gonna deal with problems. I mean, even if you're not an entrepreneur, right? Maybe you're an aspiring entrepreneur. You're still running into problems all the fucking time. Right now, you might have. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you might be running into the problem that you're not able to actually make this shit work. That's a problem, right? But guess what? You're here to fix your problems. You're here to ascend in consciousness. Life is all about the evolution and the spiritual progression of your own consciousness, right? That's the most spiritual thing you can do. It's not about, you know, it's not about eating, you know, the most healthy foods and you can do that, right? I'm not saying to shy away from the self-responsibility of eating clean and doing that. You could, and if that shit makes you feel good, do it, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do, what not to do. Me personally, I don't really tend to focus on the woo-woo. I hate all that shit, right? I think it's fucking stupid, right? Me personally, humbly, like my humble, sincere opinion, I don't entertain that bullshit, right? I know a lot of fools tend to deal with all that because it sounds fancy and yada yada and all that fucking bullshit, right? Me personally, I don't deal with that shit because none of that shit helps you. None of that shit serves you, right? And if you knew deep within your bones that none of that shit serves you, well, guess what? Why the hell are you indulging in that? Why do you keep choosing to entertain shit, right? That you're so hyper aware doesn't actually serve you in any fucking to any capacity in any way. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. I know it. You know it. The whole world knows it, right? So guess what? How about let's stop focusing on all that bullshit that clearly, you know, doesn't get you anywhere. It just doesn't get you anywhere. If it did get you somewhere, you'd already be somewhere, right? You'd already be on cloud nine. You'd already be making money. You'd already be shining, like stopping the, you know, not being able to actually take some responsibility for anything in life, right? Stop running away from your problems. Start to face them. And guess what? Dissolve them at the fucking root. So that you feel good. You feel secure. You're your own source of security. The world can't make you feel shit. Okay? Let me repeat that. Like, I'm really going to write this down. Let me repeat it, but this time I'm going to write it down, okay? Stop allowing the world, el mundo, okay, to be your source of security, peace, calm, and ultimately satisfaction, because that's what every human being is really looking for. A sense of satisfaction in their own lives, right? See, stop allowing the world to be your source of security, peace, calm, joy, and satisfaction, okay? Because you see, so many individuals fall for this trap, right? You believe that, oh, you know, let me avoid making money, let me do all this because, you know, by going for that, I'm probably gonna have more problems. You know the saying, right? What do fools like to say all the time? Oh, I'm about to ring a whole ass bell for y'all fools, right? You know the famous saying, more money, more what? Problemas. Yeah, buddy. More money, more problems, right? This is the famous saying, right? But you see, this is bullshit, right? It's bullshit. It's not true. It's not true, okay? You see, everything is a byproduct of your consciousness. If you can just simply fix your consciousness, you don't have to shy away from responsibility. You don't have to shy away from actually going for what it is that you actually prefer to go for, right? The thing is that you shy away from self-responsibility because your consciousness has been rearranged in such a way to where you fear taking responsibility, right? You fear saying, you know what, it all begins and ends with me. That's literally a fucking gem right there. Let me write this shit down right there. Let me write it down right here. Shoot. You know what? We already used this color, so we're gonna switch the color, but it all begins and ends with me. Okay? You literally, like, seriously, if you could live this statement, it all begins and ends with me. Not you, not her, not him, nobody. It all begins and ends with me. If you could truly have conviction in this, right? That it all begins and ends with you. You are your source of security. You are your source of stability. You are your source of safety. You are your source of peace. You are your source of joy. You are your source of satisfaction, right? And you don't need to seek the world for any of this shit, because guess what? The world is this. The world's an illusion, okay? What you call the world, right, is what? The material world. If the material world is all energy, right, there's no physical material universe. If everything, right, is 99.99999 etc. ongoing, empty space, right, and everything is light energy and blinking in and out of existence of zillion times per second, we can't even perceive it. We're quite literally living in a flash of light, quite literally, right? Everything's flashing so fast we can't even perceive it, right? But it's going on right now. There's nothing physical here. Everything is energy, right? So basically, to go for what you want is to rearrange your consciousness. The way to rearrange your consciousness, which is nothing but pure wave, potential wave energy, right? Everything is energy. Everything is one. But obviously your eyes give you the illusion, especially in the realm of time and space, right? This is all the illusion of time and space, where everything works with the time delay, right? See, you have been conditioned to believe, oh, you know, let me write it down right here, but let me switch the color. You have been conditioned to believe, if I can't see immediately, it won't happen, right? Or it's bullshit. You have this preconceived notion that if I can't see something immediately, it won't happen. And guess who thinks like this? Guess who exactly thinks like this? This shit's hilarious. The 98%. The vast majority of foods, right? They fall for that illusion that, oh, if they can't see some shit immediately, right, it doesn't exist. It's bullshit. It's false, right? They all fall for that illusion that if they can't see it immediately, it's not real. It doesn't exist. And as most fools, they're wrong. As most fools, they're dissatisfied with their reality. Why? Why? Because once again, they're living in the illusion. They're living by eyesight instead of living by what immediately reflects inside their fucking mind, okay? Quite literally. Eyesight dictates their fucking mind. And if you don't see, this is the most hilarious part of it all, right? Most fools don't know what the fuck their mind is. Okay, and a matter of fact, I think we've already created enough handwriting here, so it's time to erase this shit. I'm about to show you what the fuck your mind is, okay? Because literally the basis of every single thing that I preach to Yafus and everything that I preach to Yafus since day fucking one, right, is that everything is a byproduct of your mind. If you can just fix your mind, which is your consciousness. Remember, it's not your brain. Your brain is physical, right? You have a physical brain, a tangible, quantifiable brain. You can't quantify the mind. Scientists have been trying to quantify the mind since the beginning of millennia, okay? You can't fucking quantify the mind. You can't. It exists on a level of reality way above what your eyes can perceive, right? You're not experiencing the world. You're not experiencing the world. Quite literally, I'm going to explain to you how you perceive and how you actually experience the world. Because when you can learn, when you can understand yourself and know yourself on a really deep level, you will never shy away from self-responsibility, because you realize, holy shit, I am everything. I am money, I am love, I am joy, I am peace, I'm everything that I've ever desired. It's all going to make sense. Pay attention, right? So, nah, but seriously, I'm about to show y'all fools where your mind really is, because when you can actually grasp where your mind really is on a really deep level, right, then you will quite literally be able to bend the simulation to your will. I do it all the time, right? Also, if you want to know the fastest way, okay, if you're an entrepreneur, right, and you're struggling, and this is for entrepreneurs who are making bare minimum at least 5K a month, okay? If you're an entrepreneur who's making 5K a month and you're tired of the stress, you're tired of the worry, the doubt, the imposter syndrome, you want to eliminate your mental blocks, right? You want to get rid of all that shit at the fucking road. You want to know the most powerful elite method secret societies use to quite literally double their revenue in 6 weeks or less, okay? You want to know that. The link is in the description, right? It is literally my highest level work. Like, it's not, I know some of y'all might think that it's, you know, it might be the breathing method. Nah, it's none of that shit. It's quite literally a completely different advanced method, right? If you click the link in the description, you will go check all that shit out, right? Check all that shit out, and I'm here to tell you, if you're serious, do not join if you're not serious. I don't want fools who are not serious. Only if you're serious about actually doubling your revenue in 6 weeks without changing absolutely anything that you're doing other than your consciousness, right? Changing your aura, your electromagnetic field. Then opt in for that shit. But anyways, right, that's just to point that out, because I know a lot of y'all fools, y'all really want, you know, the solution to your problems. I'm here to tell you, the Elite Entrepreneurs Method is your gateway. It's quite literally the ticket for that. But anyways, I'm about to show y'all fools where your mind is, okay? So, alright, so this is where your beautiful mind is, okay? Remember, the mind is not your brain, okay? Remember, once you fix your mind, you can take some responsibility and actually get what you want. The mind is not your brain, okay? The mind is not your brain. Your brain is what? Physical matter, okay? And what is it also? It's tangible, right? It's perceptible to the senses.
And the worst addiction of them all.
So your 5 senses are sight, hear, taste, touch, and smell, okay? If something is perceptible to your 5 senses, right, your brain perceives it as what? Quantifiable, right? Scientists can quantify the brain. They can quantify this, right? That glob of meat that's right above your forehead, right inside your beautiful head, okay, right? This is your brain. Shoot. I'm gonna give you a little visual, because hear me's are visual. It's just simply how fools work, right? Just for your information, right? But the mind, okay, the mind exists on a dimension way above, way superior. This is non-tangible, okay? You can't hold your mind inside your fucking hand. You can't grab your mind. You can't do that shit. You quite literally can't, right? This is non-quantifiable, quite literally, right? You can't quantify the mind. You can't say, hey buddy, give me an ounce of your mind. Nah, you can't. Like, obviously you can say that, you know, metaphorically, but you can't say that literally, right? And mean that shit literally. They're gonna look at you like you went retarded, right? fools have to understand that you can grab an ounce of your brain, quite literally, but that's fucking disgusting. I don't even want to imagine that shit, right? I'm pretty sure you don't either, right? But anyways, you can't actually, you can't measure your mind. Your mind exists on a dimension way above the physical material world. So, what is your mind, right? What is it that so many fools are confused about when it comes to actually utilizing the most important instrument you will ever have, and that is your mind? Okay, your mind is quite literally a system of pure wave possibilities, okay, also known as wave potentials, right? Wave potentials. Now I want you to think of wave potentials like this, right? It's a bunch of waves, shoop, shoop, shoop. Okay, now your brain, which is what a lot of fools confuse it with the mind, okay, your brain sends in specific electrical signals, okay. For example, you have a human being right here, okay, a fellow Homo sapien, right? And he's thinking, for example, I want to get this done. What do you want to get done? You see, this is something that literally blows my fucking mind, quite literally. So many fools lack clarity on what it is that they actually want. If you don't have clarity on what the fuck it is that you're actually going for, are you surprised why the fuck shit doesn't go your way? I'm not surprised, right? You need to get very clear, okay? Clarity solves confusion. This is also a reason why fools shy away from some responsibility and don't get shit done, right? You expect someone external to you to solve your problems when there's not a single individual outside you that's going to solve your problems. No one's coming to save you. You save yourself, because you are your source of it all. This is literally all you. This is all your creation. You're an unlimited eternal being who came from eternity into the illusion of time and space, right? Quite literally, you are an unlimited vortex of energy, right? Unlimited eternal being. You're projecting into the illusion of time and space. This is your physical vessel, right? The illusion of time and space, right? To have experience, right? To elevate in perspective, right? To return back to source, right? But if you shy away from self-responsibility, you're quite literally doing it a disservice to the Most High. You're quite literally doing it a disservice to your fucking self. Because if you came here to expand, be in a state of expansion, right? Never-ending expansion, you're not doing that shit. If you shy away from self-responsibility, you're in a state of contraction. Why are you in a state of contraction? Because you have this right here. You're always living in fucking confusion, right? Why are you always living in confusion? Because shit, you have constant thoughts of, what should I eat today? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? How much do I want to earn? Yada, yada, yada. You have a million questions in your fucking head, right? A million questions go through your mind. You don't have clarity. And because you don't have clarity, guess what? You're not sending a clear signal. If your brain's electrical, right? Which is basically, what fools confused with your mind, right? Your mind is quite literally a system. It's a wave. It's quite literally a whole box. I want to call it. Okay, I want you to think of it. Sorry. Think of your mind as quite literally a whole box of wave possibilities, wave potentials. That's all it is, okay? It's a bunch of waves. It's potentiality, right? Every potential reality that you could experience, right? The one where you're rich, right? The one where you're powerful. The one where you're on cloud 9. Okay, you're feeling good as fuck. All of that comes from your mind. And then guess what? It becomes a particle, and then it eventually solidifies, and guess what? Eventually it's perceptible. So quite literally, your mind creates reality, quite literally. Well, I wouldn't say creates reality. Nobody creates reality, but let me say it realizes it, okay? It's a realization. Your life, the life that you want, the life that you're experiencing right now is your current realization, right? Is it so? Do you want your current life? No. Why do you not want your current life? Because you're already experiencing that shit, right? You can only want or have. You can't serve two masters. It's even said in the Bible. You cannot serve two masters. You can either want or have. You can't do both. Do you want your current reality? No. Why do you not want your current reality? Because you already have that shit. You're already experiencing it, right? So if the key to incorporating self-responsibility lies in fixing your conscience, fixing your mind, right? Rearranging the wave of possibilities of the realities that you can experience, so everything's perceptible by touch, right? You can actually measure that shit. You can actually quantify that shit, right? Where does the key lie? The key lies here. It's all gonna make sense. Pay attention, right? So, clarify what the fuck you want. And this is hilarious because literally I literally speak to fools each and every single day, right? On Instagram, on email, all the time, right? I'm literally speaking to fools all the time, right? Every time like individuals about to work with me, right, and I'm like answering some questions, I'm always like, what's the goal here? Like, what the where do you want to go? Where are you currently at? Where do you want to go? It's never anything measurable. It's never anything specific. I'm like, buddy, that's the exact reason why you're fucked. That's the exact reason why life keeps fucking you in the ass without a condom, right? And you don't fucking get anywhere. Quite literally, you don't even know where the fuck you want to go. It's always a general sense of pure vagueness of, oh, I just want to get fit. What the fuck does that mean? What does it mean to get fit? Motherfucker, how much pounds do you want to lose, right? Oh, I want to, you know, just have financial freedom. What the fuck does that mean? For some, that's $100,000. For some, that's $10 million. For some, that's $100 million. For some, that's $1 billion. You get the point. Everything is subjective. There's never just one size fits all for anything, right? Be very specific. My definition of fun is not your definition of fun. My definition of freedom is not your definition of freedom. It's all fucking different. It's all relative. Everything in life is relative, right? So if you want to stop shying away from self-responsibility so you can finally take matters in your own hands and you can actually go for what it is, whatever the fuck it is that you desire, without resistance, without hesitation, without doubt, without fear, worry, imposter syndrome, right? Overthinking, stress, all that fucking bullshit, right? You want to eliminate all that shit at the root. Gain clarity. What is it? How much? Make sure it's measurable. If you can't measure that shit, you're going to be constantly stuck in a state of pure vagueness, and guess what? You aren't going to get shit done. And I tell you this from someone who used to always do this. Fools live like this each and every fucking day, and then they wonder you have no target to fucking aim for, buddy. Get a very clear, specific target. What does a target look like? Is a target here, or is a target here? Make sure that you're able to fucking pinpoint at it. If you can't pinpoint at it, you have no target. If you don't have no fucking target, you have no aim. You have no aim, you have confusion. If you have confusion, what the fuck goes on? You shy away from self-responsibility. You're spinning around in circles. You're mentally masturbating, right? And nothing gets done. Quite literally, nothing gets done. Why doesn't shit get done? Because you're shying away from self-responsibility, which is key. Matter of fact, I got a book for y'all fools, right? So pay attention. Hold on right here. Alright, so this is the one book that I will quite literally forever recommend to y'all fools, right? And this is quite literally one of my favorite books, at least for this year, right? Parallel Universes of Soul by Frederick Dodson. Now, in specific, right, Frederick Dodson is quite literally one of me, right? He's a consciousness researcher, right? And all of his books are fucking amazing, by the way. But in specific, this book right here called Parallel Universes, so you really need to check this book out. In my opinion, fucking amazing. It is quite literally this shit. It is literally one of the best books that you can read, in my opinion, right? And in this specific book, he quite literally goes over how before you receive anything, you have to get still, okay? Remember, everything is a state of what? Consciousness. Consciousness is the only thing that's fucking real, not the shit that the world gives you, okay? The amazing clients, the revenue, the profit, the amazing, well, I don't know what it is y'all fools desire, but you get the point. You know what you want, right? But remember, gain clarity. What do you want? Why do you want it? Is it something you can actually measure and hold in your hands and measure and really see it? No? Then guess what? It's not specific enough, okay? You have no real target, and then you're going to be in confusion, and then guess what? We're going to give up within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you're back at square zero. You're shining for responsibility. I'm gonna have someone else solve my problem. I'm gonna give up. Fuck all this, right? There's so many people's lives, quite literally, because they shy away from self responsibility. They don't know what the fuck they want. Get very clear on what it is. Just simply ask yourself, what is it that I truly desire of life? And step into that shit. But remember, as the great Frederick Dawson says in his book, there is no receiving without being still first. You're never still. You're always doing, right? I'm going to write this shit down because it's so important. Shoop. You're always in a state of fucking doing, right? But let me, you know what? Let me write this shit right here. I'm going to ask you a question. Are you a human? Are you a human doing? Seriously, serious question, right? Are you a human doing? Exactly, that's what I thought. You're not a human doing. Oh, but you know where you are, right? You already know the answer to this. I don't gotta fucking say. You've known this since day one, buddy. You're a human being. So, okay. So if you're not this, but you're this, why are you so focused on doing shit, right? Why is it you're so focused on grinding, hustling, trying to figure shit out, when your mind is quite a system, right, of way possibilities, way potentials, right? Every single reality you want to experience is all in your conscious, all within your mind. Before it becomes quantifiable, perceptible to your senses, right? Then you can measure that shit. Then you can say, holy shit, I have it in my hands. Damn, it's reality now. And then guess what? You take that shit for granted because now who you are, right? Remember, you can only want or have. You can't serve two masters, right? You cannot. Listen, do me a favor. Try to actually serve two masters. You won't succeed. You quite literally won't succeed. Why won't you succeed? Because you cannot serve two masters. You quite literally can't. Try to sit in that fucking chair and then sit in this chair. Okay, I'm doing too much at this point, but you get the point, right? Try to do that shit. You're not gonna succeed. You can't. You have to sit in one chair and you have to say fuck the other, right? The thing is that you're like, oh, I want that. I would love to have more clients. I would love to have, you know, dream clients, right? I would love to have my funnels finally popping off and me being able to make way more revenue, way more profit, right? Me able to have amazing clients, me being able to actually attract the life that I want to attract, right? I would love to have all of that shit at my disposable, right? But you like clarity, and because you like clarity, you can't actually go for what the fuck it is that you desire, right? Why can't you go for what it is that you actually desire? Because once again, you don't know what the fuck you want. You have no target, right? If your mind, okay, the brain is sending an electrical signal. For example, if I say I want this, my brain's already sending an electrical signal out into the ether, okay? It's invisible to our fucking eyes. You can't see it, but it's going on. It's real. It's way more real than anything that you could fucking see with your eyes. You think, oh, because I can see this is fucking real. This is not fucking real. Oh, you think that when someone gives you some shit, that shit's real. That's just not real. The physical material world is not real. It's only illusion. This is the illusionary world. Okay, it's not fucking real. What the world gives you is fake. You're over here desiring an illusion, right, which is the world. Anytime you desire anything in the world, which is money, peace, I'm not going to say peace and security because those are non-tangible, right? But anything tangible, anything you want something from the world that's tangible, such as money, luxuries, a person, right, a specific luxury, right? You get the fucking point. You want a client, a specific client to come to you, all that shit. That's an illusion. It's not real, okay? You're focusing on the illusion instead of focusing on what's actually real, which is the non-physical, because the non-physical, the spiritual, will forever perceive the physical. Let me write that shit down because it's so important for you to actually grasp this right. So, I don't think we've used the color, we haven't used the color black. So, the immaterial, okay, will always precede the material, i.e., the dream client, okay? You want the dream client, you want higher revenue, you want your dream customers, yada yada. You get the point. I don't know what y'all fools are into. You're gonna struggle this to anything, okay? The only key to having all this is, like, I cannot stress enough, okay? Whatever it is that you're trying to go for in life, you will not achieve it if you don't have some responsibility, okay? You know those fucking dumbasses on the internet, right? I'm not supposed to be rude, but you know who they are, right? Guys who you would consider complete dumbass, they're completely stupid, right? They're not smart anyway, but they get what they want is because they don't shy away from some responsibility. They're like, you know what? They take everything into the matter of their own fucking hands. Oh, this shit happened. Oh, this person said this. Oh, the market crashed. Oh, stocks are falling in price, right? Oh, the market's pivoting. Oh, that market's saturated. It doesn't matter. They take everything into their own hands. They take matter into their own hand. Everything, right? They never say, you know what? I'm gonna let someone handle. I'm gonna go into my little fucking cave and shy away, right? And not get nothing. They don't think like that. They don't think like that. Their mind's way different. Instead of seeking problems and running away, they seek solutions. Say, you know what? This is all my responsibility. I'm gonna fucking make it work. I don't know how, but it's gonna get done. They're so certain in everything they do, everything they say. So therefore, the ether, the immaterial, right, says, what? Did you just say that you're gonna take medicine to your own hand? That you just said that this is all gonna be solved right now whenever you say it? Got you. Let's get to fucking work. And remember, this is the physical material world. This is the 3D. Okay, let me write this shit down right here. We're running out of space, fuck. But the 3D, okay, works in time and space. Okay, remember, on the spiritual material, on the spiritual plane, okay, there doesn't exist time. Time doesn't exist there, okay. 1,000,000 years over there is quite literally like 2 minutes here, right? Quite literally, time doesn't exist over there. It doesn't exist. Time only exists here on the third dimension, around the material world, right? The lowest level of consciousness there is, right? So, if everything here in the third dimension, right? Just look around you. I'm looking at my room. This is my whole studio right here, right? This is my room. From me to the fucking wall, everything is third dimensional. See, this wall, that wall, the roof. Everything is third dimensional relative to where I'm standing. But who's the center of all this shit? I am, right? Without me, there is no fucking world. It all begins and ends with me. What did I live tell y'all? I already erased it, but you get the saying. Everything begins and ends with me. There is no world without you. You are the center of it all. Who is the center of it all? From me to that person, who is the center of it? Me. From me to the fucking desk, who is the center? I am. From me to the bed, I am the center. I am the center, therefore I operate from the center, and I realize, guess what? Everything's moldable to how I perceive it. Everything's moldable to how I prefer to experience. Why? Because all this shit is a byproduct of my consciousness, quite literally. Right? Everything is energy. Manipulate the energy of the simulation, and guess what? The people, the clients, the illusion will come to you. Everything, all this shit's an illusion. It's not fucking real, quite literally. Right? I know if you're new to this information, it might sound fucking scary. Don't let this shit scare you. If anything, it should fucking liberate you. That shit should excite you so fucking much. That shit should liberate you, right? To such an extent where you feel like you will never have anything to fear ever again, right? The thing is that, you know why you live in fear? Because you're shying away from your problems. You don't take some responsibility, right? You think someone's coming to save you, and I'm here to tell you nobody's coming to save you, right? I've been in this game for fucking years, and I have yet to see a single motherfucker save me. It doesn't exist, right? You have to save yourself. You have to save yourself, because I'm here to tell you no one's coming to save you. Only you can save yourself. But are you willing to save yourself? Are you willing to take some responsibility in the third dimension, around the lowest level of consciousness, right? Where everything works with a time delay, right? Are you willing to actually take some responsibility for that shit? Or are you going to shy away like the vast majority of others who like to complain and cry and nag and yada yada? You get the point, right? It's your choice. This is all your choice. How do you prefer to live? It all begins with clarity, right? If you don't have clarity, you don't know why the fuck you're doing the shit you're doing. You have no target to aim for. Your brain is sending incoherent, very mixed signals right into the ether. You don't know what the fuck you want. It can't deliver to you. And then you say, this consciousness shit that, this random Mexican rock and roll that named that for even, saying it doesn't work. It does work. It's literally my life. This whole consciousness shit is literally my life. I live this each and every single day. The thing is, you can't live it. Why? Because you don't know yourself. The moment you know yourself, then everything will make sense. Until you make sense of yourself, right? Will the world never make sense? Let me repeat that one more time over so many Yafu's heads. Until you make sense of yourself, will the world not make sense, right? You think, why is that person giving me such a hard time? Why do I have the worst clients constantly coming to me? Why is it that to find jobs, right? If you're you're working a job, whatever. Why is that shit so difficult? Oh, if you're an entrepreneur, why is it that entrepreneurship is so hard? God damn it! Why is it that I can't ever get a break, right? You can't get a break because you don't know yourself. you haven't made sense of yourself. Make sense of yourself, what's going on inside your mind, right? Which is always setting a signal. There's literally an invisible line that connects you to what you call reality, the material world. Quite literally, everything that's occurring right now, you see how the S market just saw everything is falling today. There's an invisible line in me right now that's doing that shit. Quite literally, right? Quite literally, everything's one to one. There's no separation. What did I tell y'all just a few minutes ago? The illusion of separation is the root cause of all human suffering, right? Because you perceive me and you as separate, me and the desk is separate, me and the wall is separate. Everything, you quite literally perceive everything by your eyes to be separate, but everything is one. Everything's within your control. Everything is secretly outside of you and also within you. Everything's going on within you. You have 4 bodies. I'm not gonna explain that right now, but you have 4 bodies, right? And until you know what those 4 bodies are, and I teach I teach all that shit in depth into my Elite Entrepreneur's Blueprint. But until you make sense of those 4 bodies and how they're all interconnected, how everything stems from you, you are the center of it all, then you get artificial ego boost when you say, oh, I knew that claim was gonna give me a fucking headache. I knew I was gonna attract this amount of money. I can't seem to break my revenue ceiling. I can't seem to actually figure out the solution of just getting a break from all this and actually living on cloud 9, right? The exact reason why you can't make sense of that shit is because you don't make sense of yourself, right? If everything in the 3D works with the time and space delay, right, it doesn't happen just boom, snap a finger, it's already there. Nah, it doesn't work like that, right? And because it doesn't work like that, you need to gain clarity. I repeat, you, sir, ma'am, you need to gain clarity. Until you gain clarity when nothing makes sense. When shit doesn't make sense, then you'll be like, God damn it, you're gonna blame it on your clients, your customers, the market, you know, how everything's saturated, the algorithm, right? I know that's a big one for a lot of y'all. Yeah, oh, the algorithm's fucked. I mean, you don't understand. The algorithm's fucked. All of that shit, right? There's always something wrong with anything happening external except for you. But I'm here to tell you are the center of it all. Now, to pinpoint this book, Parallel Universes of Self by Frederick Dodson, right? Amazing guy. Like, honestly, this guy's the shit, right? And honestly, this book is like, it's not that many pages, but oops, this shit is, it's like, but this is like 433 pages, right? 433 pages. You can actually read this shit, right? And let alone actually understand it, because his whole philosophy is that everything comes to you basically when you're still. You first have to become still, identify with that preferred version of you, and guess what? You're no longer in the same timeline, right? It may seem like as soon as you get still, you rearrange your consciousness. As soon as you open your eyes, you're like, I'm in the same room, I'm in the same place. You're not in the same place. You're in a different timeline. You have quite literally just shifted a parallel universes of self, right? The title of his book, right? And nothing is the same ever again, right? This is the same philosophy. It's not, I preach something completely, let me say, it's similar, but it's completely different, right? I have a completely different methodology. I think it's simpler, but the premise is the same. Consciousness is the substance of reality. Repeat it with me. Consciousness is the substance of reality. Anything that happens to you, comes to you, was all a direct result, one-to-one perfect match of your consciousness. There's no separation between what goes on out there and what's going on inside you, right? And until you make sense of that shit perfectly and you really understand what the fuck I'm saying, what everything external to you not makes sense. It's quite literally that simple, right? And this is what I always tell y'all fools. If you want to take some responsibility, okay, you already know who you need to become, okay? Gain clarity, know yourself, become still first, right? Realize that life is all about solving problems. You're always going to have problems in this life. That's not going fucking nowhere. Whether the year is 2026. Matter of fact, let me write that shit down, because it's that important, okay? So, fuck, we're running out of space, but I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna create some space like right here, right? But whether it's 2026, you know, 2030, 2035, me vale verga. Whatever fucking year it is, right? Whether it's 2026, 2030, 2035, it doesn't fucking excuse my language, but and you know what? Let me point this shit out, because I really need to point this shit out to a lot of y'all fools, right? If a language offends you, okay, you're not even at the awareness to understand what the fuck I'm saying. I'm not like exaggerating any fucking way. I'm really serious, right? If you get offended by words, right? If you're an individual who gets offended when I say fuck you, bitch, or fucking and piece of shit, motherfucker, and all this, like just any bad word, right? You have to understand that I'm not saying anything. It's just a sound that's coming out of my mouth. Do you hear what the fuck I'm saying? I'm speaking the English language, but guess what? I'm not saying jack shit. It's a bunch of fucking sounds coming out of my mouth, right? Words don't have power. Intention does, right? If a Chinese motherfucker was right here next to you, right, and he was saying some shit to you, he was saying some rude ass shit in Chinese, would you get offended? No. You know why? Because you don't know what the fuck he's saying. The sound that's coming out of his mouth, which is really everything any human being saying, right? Sounds. That's all you're doing, right? Having sounds coming out of your mouth, you're producing a sound, right? It has no meaning to your psyche, so you wouldn't get offended. I'm not saying shit right now, but it has meaning to your psyche. So if words offend you, you're not even at the awareness to understand this shit. Your level of consciousness at this current moment in time is fucking low, right? You need to upgrade that shit. Which is why it's just the way I like to express myself. Yeah, I do notice I do need to tone it down a little more because a lot of times it's unnecessary. But I'm here to tell you, if language offends you, if bad words offend you, you're not even at the awareness to understand. So I would highly recommend that either you go somewhere the fuck else, like I'm not your guy, unfortunately, or you watch this video if you're open-minded enough as many times as possible so you can actually understand what the fuck I'm even saying and what I've been literally preaching since day one, if that makes sense, right? So anyways, right, just to get that shit out the way, whether it's 2026, 2030, 2035, it doesn't fucking matter, right? You will forever, para siempre, as my friends will let's say, have problems. Quite literally, right? Like you're always gonna have issues, bro. As the Bing Bang Buddha once said many moons ago, life is suffering. La vida es sufrimiento, right? Quite literally, you're always gonna have issues, right? You're always gonna have some bullshit. You're always gonna have some fucking dickhead in your such is the nature of life, you know what I'm saying? But who gives a fuck? Why are you trying away from that shit? You know why you shy away from that shit? Because you don't know yourself. First, know yourself. Gain clarity. Don't shy away from self-responsibility. And watch your life magically transform. This is honestly I gotta say. If you like this content, you wanna, otherwise I can help you, right? The link is in the description. That's honestly I gotta say. I'm busy. Your boy's busy. I gotta go. And I love y'all fools. You have a blessed one. Let's get it. Let's go. Gang, have a blessed one. I love you, my fools.